So as you guys know, we started a monthly series where we just kind of dive into what's going on in the market. And November, I used my show I vended at as a gauge, and I'm going to do the same thing for December. So I vended a show earlier this month. It was like December 6th, I want to say. And take it with a grain of salt because my location wasn't very good at the show. I was all the way in the back, and I did have multiple people walk up to the table and say, hey, like, I really like this card or this card, and like I would have bought it, but I already spent too much money, or I'm broke now, or let me try to sell some of my singles and stuff. So really, it's definitely worse than it was in November. I think I actually sold a good amount of sports cards at this one. I did sell a high-end slab and some like $100 singles, where I didn't really do that with the last one. The $10 and under binder did very, very well, as always. You know, I had a bunch of vintage promos in there, Wizards of the Coast promos and stuff like that, and probably about 40% of those actually sold. And then just going through the rest of them, you know, people looking for master sets and stuff like that, we're kind of going through there, and somebody grabbed a bunch of cheap IRs and Vs and EXs or whatever out of there. So that $10 and under binder is always huge. Like, that is awesome. Singles wise, we didn't really get rid of a whole lot of singles. We did some trading. People really were looking for some, I think a lot of people were looking at like XY era stuff, but people also either wanted super clean or they just didn't want to spend the price for XY stuff. Tag teams were super popular. Everybody likes tag teams. Modern didn't really move a whole lot. Sports sold very well for me. I sold my bulk box, which was all football, baseball, basketball, that whole thing sold. Even some like patch cards with like Ben Roethlisberger and such like that, they all sold. I had some interest in some vintage singles as well for sports. So definitely sports seems to be either getting more popular or just collectors are back out. I sold some baseball sets. Sports definitely moved well. Pokemon not nearly as well as it's been. I think that's just part of it slowing down, and you know, because everything's taken a tumble, you know, everything's dropped in price probably like 20% or so. People just are only after what they're after. They're not just recklessly spending, or they're not willing to spend as much in case it drops some more, and that's completely understandable. Sealed didn't really move that well. I always bring a lot of sealed. If you follow me on Instagram and see my Instagram stories and stuff, my wonderful girlfriend runs that when I'm at shows, and I bring a good amount of sealed stuff. And honestly, I can't say I sold a lot. How much stuff did I actually sell sealed? I might have sold a couple packs, which usually I sell a lot more than that. Actually, I think I traded one pack away. Nobody wanted loose packs. Nobody wanted sleeves. Nobody wanted ETBs, booster boxes, or collection boxes. I sold a prismatic. Prismatic's still popular. I did a little gimmick where I sold surprise boxes at MSRP if you signed up for emails for the website, and only a handful of people even took me up on that, which I thought was insane. You know, everybody's going crazy over prismatic and whatever. So even prismatic wasn't really moving. Offered Surging Sparks ETPs for that same deal. Didn't move. Collection boxes, the one that has, what is it, half Journey Together and half Destined Rivals, I think it is, or half Surging Sparks and half Destined Rivals. Nobody even wanted that for MSRP, which I thought was insane. You know, Destined Rivals is probably the best booster box set in Scarlet and Violet, and what is it? It's 5 packs of Destined and 5 packs of Surging, I think. Nobody even wanted that for MSRP. I thought that was crazy, but I guess it's just the market we're in. You know, you get 10 packs of 2 good sets at MSRP to crack open, even if you want to crack them open, even if you want to hold on to it, because they still have these stamped promos, even though they're nothing crazy right now. I think most of them sell for about $2 a piece. I actually just sold the Snorlax prismatic ones on eBay for, I want to say $2.50 or $3 a piece. So nothing too crazy, obviously, but is there a grading play there? Maybe. Do you still need it for your master set? Yes. So, I mean, there's going to be some value there. I don't know how much, but there's going to be some value there. Maybe in a PSA 10, I don't think it's going to be anything more than, 50 to $70 in a 10, but also how many people are going to be after that? I don't know. There's a lot of people trying to trade for stuff, and I really didn't trade a whole lot. People didn't really have super crazy stuff. People targeted the e-readers, as always. People always like e-readers. And there was definitely more people trying to sell higher end stuff, and I'm not the guy for that. I can't offload a $3,000 card like that. I had a hard time offloading the the fat Pikachu from Celebrations. It's like a pop five something, and I mean, I offloaded it this time. I should have offloaded it earlier in the year when I vended earlier, but I said no. So obviously I got a little bit less money for it, but it went at this show, and that was just because somebody needed it for their collection. So I think more people are being more picky on what they're grabbing, and when they're doing that, it's what I want for my collection. What do I want for a master set? What do I need for a master set? Or, who's my popular Pokemon? Oh, Umbreon's my favorite. Well, Umbreon's super expensive, so I'm gonna look for the cheap stuff if I can afford, what's in my budget at least. So definitely things are slowing down. Things are definitely getting harder to move. And I mean, when stuff corrects 20%, that's kind of expected, right? So things are exactly how you expect it, especially coming from a vendor. Talking to other vendors, it's getting hard for them to move stuff because, if they bought it 80% 6 months ago, well, now they're losing money because that 20% drop, sometimes even more. Talking to other vendors, they're like, look, I'm already down on this. I can't really give much of a discount because I'm already, I already lost money on it. And then cash talks. So I got some okay deals on some stuff just because I was willing to pay cash, and people were down and just wanted to wash their hands of it. Overall, I think Ultra Modern is getting easier to find, singles and sealed, and therefore people aren't willing to pay up for the higher stuff. They're willing to let it fall, which is good. I think the hobby as a whole is healing. Scalpers are starting to move out and go to One Piece. That brings me to One Piece. I had some sleeves, those sold, first thing sold. One Piece seems super popular. I have a Romance Dawn booster box. It's the white bottom, and I probably had 5 to 7 people roughly come by and ask about it. They wanted to look at it. Oh, is it the white bottom? How much? And some people try to wheel and deal with me and stuff. And it's just, One Piece is super popular right now. I don't know anything about One Piece. I don't understand it, and that's why all I have is that one booster box. But maybe all that hype from Pokemon is now going to One Piece, and maybe that's why Pokemon's starting to crumble a little bit. But I'm not biting on it. I have what I have. I have an OP01 booster box. That's it. And yeah, so those that did One Piece might have a completely different market update or experience at shows and stuff, just because all the hype going towards it. But I don't really know anything about it. I think Bandai has done really bad jobs with TCGs in the past, and I just don't trust them enough to go super hard on it. So all I have is that OP01. I'm looking to sell it. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys on the December market update. If you like my video, smash that subscribe button. Head on over to my website, maxpacks.com. Get yourself some sealed Pokemon. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Hairline.